Welcome back. New at 10, the Quincy Chamber of Commerce celebrated those in the ag field at their annual ag banquet today. Honors were given out tonight for the Agribusiness of the Year, Ag Educator of the Year, and Farm Family of the Year. The Chamber President and CEO shared why an event like this is just so important. The event also featured a guest speaker, Mike Pearson, the host of This Week in Agribusiness. He says he was pleasantly surprised by the turnout.
The history, the pride that the community and the chamber obviously feels in the ag industry, that's a really unique testament to the town of Quincy and to the folks here.
It's really important that we celebrate it and we recognize those people who do a great job and continue to make sure that the ag community is supported throughout Adams County.
This is the 26th Ag Banquet in the Chamber's history.